my forte.
That music means it is time here on Take Action News for social media with Alan Rosenblatt, Dr. Digipole on Twitter. Alan, of course, is our guru in all things social media. And when you think about everything that happened over the past week you had the fiscal cliff deal, you had the negotiations in Congress, you also had the swearing in of members of Congress, you had those moments with Joe Biden during the swearing in where he said some things that some people might have thought were a little bit inappropriate. And then, of course, on social media, you have big issues as far as what is President Obama going to do with the debt ceiling. And the president, of course, made it clear in one of his briefings that he will not negotiate with Congress over raising the debt. So let's bring in Alan Rosenblatt, our dean of social media. Alan, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, David. How are you?
Good. So, Alan, what was trending? What were the big issues on social media?
Well, there are a few things. One thing to point out is that when you look at the large list of what's trending on social media, politics rarely breaks into it. And that's the case, as always. But still, within the politics space, some of the things that popped up this week included, let's see, Operation Westboro Church, the Debbie Girl 1, who was our guest last week, posted a schedule of proposed pickets against funerals and other events that the church was planning, and they're recruiting people to come out and counter-protest. I tweeted the link out and it's been retweeted on Take Action News, so you can see that schedule as well. I've been monitoring the two primary hashtags for conservatives and liberals, pound P2 for progressives and pound TCOT for conservatives. And while the conservative TCOT is always streaming and is the only political hashtag to break into the top trends for the year, if you watch it on a real-time basis, you'll see spurts where P2 and TCOT are going neck and neck, and you'll also see a lot of people cross-posting between the two. Your own drama with Current TV, or rather the drama associated with Current TV. A couple interesting things have happened in that context. One of the hashtags that have been popping up is Al Gore Zera, which I thought was, oh, that'd be kind of fun. Is anybody using it? And of course, people were actually using it. It was interesting to see that Laura Ingraham has come out really strong and really hit Al Gore for selling it to big oil money. Now she's focusing on the conflict between his environmental climate positions and selling it to big oil. I wanted to make a point that the number 2 investor in News Corp is a Saudi prince, so her own company is funded by big oil. And I did a little trick that I think many of our activists might think about. If you go to Bitly and you take the link of any piece of content and you put it in there and then modify it to become a custom link, it permanently links that custom version of the Bitly to that destination. So now if you do Bitly/Laura Ingraham or Bitly/Ingraham Angle, which is her Twitter handle, it goes to the article that talks about how the Saudi prince is the second largest owner of News Corp, and that is forever marked and attached to her name. So there are a lot of interesting things. Also, it turns out that Bill O'Reilly started talking about YOLO and started to explain to people what YOLO means, which means you only live once. It's one of the most popular hashtags on Twitter, and Twitter erupted with a bunch of laughter over him trying to do that.
So let's get back first to Westboro Baptist.
Yes.
The petition that to declare Westboro Baptist a terror organization, which would have all sorts of ramifications if the government was able to do that. It's gotten over 300,000 signatories at the White House. We have yet to see sort of a White House response. As far as your understanding of sort of the social media gurus over at the White House, what would be a proper response for them, both to satisfy all the effort that people to spend, but also to essentially gain control of the story in social media?
Well, so the White House says that if you hit 25,000 signatures, they'll consider it as a policy request. And so clearly it's past that threshold. Whether they engage it on social media, I don't think that's certainly not part of the promise of the petition. So I don't think they're under any obligation to do so. I think at some point, it might make sense for the White House to tweet that they find it distasteful for people to be picketing the funerals of dead servicemen. And I think that that's sort of the extent of what seems to be appropriate, because these are people who died pursuing policy and war policies that the president has put forth and is implementing, and he's the commander in chief. And so I think a statement simply saying this is inappropriate and we don't condone it at all, even though they have the right to do it, kind of thing. So that's sort of the delicate line to tread there. I wouldn't go any further than that on social media.